Hey everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Donna E. Knight, and I'm here with another sophisticated video. I thought today would be the perfect day to do a video because today is June 2nd, 2020, and today is Blackout Tuesday. So I just thought that it would be a good time to share some knowledge on economic empowerment. The purpose of the Blackout Tuesday today is designed for us to kind of express our power in an economic way. And I thought, well, let's do a video and make sure that everybody understands some basic economics in our community. So that's what this video is going to be about today, and we'll be right back. So one important question is, do you understand the difference between socialism and capitalism? Do you know the difference between the two? And the second question, do you know what economic power is? Do you know why it's important? All right, so let's dig in and answer the questions that have been posed. Let's discuss what economic power is, and let's discuss socialism and capitalism. So like I said earlier, today is Blackout Tuesday. It's something that's going on in the African American community. It's a rally of African Americans to protest and to kind of garner our economic power to make political shifts in our country. Economic power in this country is everything. It's a system that's been created, and it has a lot of power in this country. Master how to become economically empowered and how to become wealthy. It's almost like it's an intentional secret that is kept by the elite, and I think it is a secret that's kept by the elite. To make sure that there is an economic divide in this country. We have extremely poor people in this country, and then we have extremely rich people. One thing, in my opinion, that COVID-19 has really exposed is that this country only thrives off of the back of the working class. So if you're a person that gets up and go to work every day, this country is built off of you. COVID-19 exposed that country. Why is it that we need the working class? Because these are the people that make the wheels turn. These are the people that do most of the buying. And this country is built off of a system that thrives off of people that go out and spend money. If you don't spend money, this country does not make it. So that's why, when COVID-19 came and people weren't working, people weren't spending money, there was this panic to get people back to spending money. So that's when they came with the stimulus packages and everything, because whether we realize it or not, our country wants us to spend everything that we make. That's what they want. They want us spending money. So, not going to keep going there, but let's just talk about socialism and capitalism, which is, when you look at a country's economic structure, the first thing that you want to determine is it a capitalist country or a socialist? America wants people to believe that we're a socialist country. So what is socialist? It is an economic classification that says the working class makes the decisions and have the power of economy. That's like a layman's term. But you can easily Google the definition of socialism to understand in more detail what it is. But it says that the country or the economics are controlled by the working class. And then a capitalist country is one that is controlled by the top 1%. Capitalist says there's so much money to be made, and then after that money is made, only a certain percentage controls what happens with that. So looking at those two definitions of socialism and capitalism, one where a small group makes the determination of what happens, in socialism where the community makes the determination, you have to ask yourself, what is America? Are we a capitalist country or a socialist country? If you look that up, if you do the research on that, it will say that America is mixed. We're mixed, we're socialist, we're capitalist. The government, in my opinion, leads us to believe that we're a socialist country, you know, that the community and the organizations make the economic decisions for the country. But me, based on my research and my readings and just my experience, I believe that we're mainly a capitalist country. One great resource is this book, Black Labor, White Wealth. This is a great resource and great book. It was written by Dr. Claude Anderson, and it is a great source of information and knowledge and can help you shift the way you view money. It will help you shift the way you view wealth and how you view power. Because we tend to think that, okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna get a job, I'm going to work, and, I'm gonna save money and become wealthy. Well, one thing that I like, the guy, Robert Kiyosaki, I'm pretty sure I said his last name wrong. But anyway, he wrote the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's another great book to read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I have not finished reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I haven't finished reading Black Labor, White Wealth, because I shift around a lot. Like, I'll start reading a book and get to like chapter 3, 4, and then the book I'm reading will make a reference to another book, so then I have to like stop, and then I want to read that book. So, I don't get finished sometimes reading the books, but I'm going to finish it. I make it a point to finish the book. But anyway, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't have a hard copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's on my Kindle. But Robert Kiyosaki, he says that, and I love this, he says, what are you saving money for when the government is printing money? I was like, I never heard that before. Like, why are you? Because that's not what we're taught. We're taught work, save money, that's how you become wealthy. But the truth is, that is not how you become wealthy. You become wealthy by learning the system. Money isn't real. It's an accounting system. And you have to learn the system. So you have to learn things like, what is interest? You have to learn compound interest. I took a class to learn what compound interest was. So these are things that you have to learn because we're not taught. I was not taught a compound interest class in college. We're not really taught economics. Not really and truly, we're not really taught that. And that's one of my beliefs, why I believe America is a capitalist society, because there's so many things that we are not taught. And this goes back for generations. And so we have to learn these things in order to become economically empowered. It starts by having the education. So when you go out and work, what do you need to do with your money? If you get a lump sum of money, what do you need to do to make that money grow? And the truth is, if you read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the truth is saving money is not going to make it grow. Like putting it in a CD or something like that is not going to increase the value of your money as fast as we would like it to. When you're only getting 2% per year on your money, you're not really increasing the value. So anyway, off of that, that's like another subject. But anyway, back to learning our economic power. This is the greatest source of power, economic power. It's the greatest source of power. And why is economic power the greatest source of power? Because it provides protection. Like I said, people who are wealthy, millionaires and billionaires, the top 1% in this country, protection. Most of them don't pay taxes. It also provides access. They have access to information, access to people that regular working class people don't have access to. And then control. You control what's going on. You make decisions. You're on committees, you're on boards, and you're making decisions, and you are in control. That's only 1% in this country. That is not capitalist. I don't know what it is. But anyway. So in this book, if you guys get the chance to get the book Black Labor, White Wealth, to me, chapter 2 is a great chapter. It was a lot of great chapters in the book, but chapter 2 is really a good one because chapter 2 is called Power and Black Progress. And so what Dr. Anderson does here is he breaks down the different types of power. He talks about institutional power, group power, wealth power, numerical population power. It goes on and on. He talks about all these different kind of powers that we know nothing about. And he makes a great reference to a book, The Destruction of Black Civilization, written by Chancellor Williams. And in this book, it says that Caucasians will wage frightful wars against other Caucasians, but will quickly unite as though by instinct against non-whites, not only in wars, but in international policies. They have developed a kind of built-in solidarity in their relations with non-Caucasian people. This fact, as much as anything else, helps explain their position as masters of the world. So that's why this Blackout Tuesday is so important, is because other groups, other racial groups, have learned how to come together and build on their power, expound on their power. And our group, not so much. So that's why I'm like, yes, go Blackout Tuesday, because this is the beginning of us learning that we have to harness our economic power. And we have a lot of economic power. Dr. Anderson has that in the book too. You know, how much money African Americans spend in this economy. And we spend a lot. And a lot of that is because we don't have the knowledge about money. We don't truly understand money. And that's why we spend so much. So, just a great point. Another great point in here is when he's talking about wealth power, it says, in the present social structure, maldistribution guarantees that America will never be an equal opportunity society. I highlighted this sentence because one thing we got to do is be real, okay? America has never been equal opportunity, and it's never going to be. So stop waiting for someone to show you the secrets or someone to give you something or hand you something, and start lifting the veil off and seeing, okay, what's really going on? You know, do you not ask yourself questions? Because I do. I'm like, okay, how are these people becoming this rich? How are these people making money this fast? How is this person making money while they sleep? Those are questions that we need answers to. So when you start researching and peeling back the onion, it unveils so much. And the next thing I wanted to touch on is an important tool that you've got to have in this economic upheaval that we're experiencing. And this is in Dr. Brunson's book. It says self-empowerment is the most effective, if not the only road for blacks to reach racial competitiveness. For us to be competitive racially and economically, we gotta have self-empowerment. That's what my YouTube channel is all about. There's so many different ways to become self-empowered, okay? But everything begins with your mindset. Because if you don't shift the mindset, if you don't start that shift, this information won't make sense to you. Alright, so the next resource that I want to give you all is another book, and this book is called The Problem with Socialism. And this book is written by Thomas L. Del Brizino. I said that wrong. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the book is called The Problem with Socialism. And look it up on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever media, whatever outlet you use for your books. They say this book should be given to like every person who's graduating college or getting ready to go to college, so that they can truly understand that socialism, which I don't think is a real system in America. I just don't think we live in a socialist society. To me, it's 98% capitalist. But anyway, this book shows how, and it discusses how socialism makes inequality worse. I think that's a good read for anyone to understand that, in this market where we say, now, look, so this book, look, you just need to read it because it depends on how you take it. There's good information in there, but, it could be taken as being a little biased in the book, or, saying that we don't need a socialist society. Well, hey, that's fine with me because I don't think we have a socialist society anyway. So So, but it does tell how socialism creates a further divide, you know. So the people who are on the downside would never, in a down class, could never, if we continue to live socialist, they could never raise up to a upper class. So like America's supposed to be this great country where, you know, all your dreams can come true. You can accomplish anything. You can come here with nothing and raise yourself up by your bootstraps and become, you know, a billionaire. And hey, that's true to a certain extent. But, you know, if you are from an oppressed class, like, you've got to work that much harder to get accomplished, because we're discredited from face value. When people see our face, we're immediately discredited. It doesn't matter, you know, who your parents are, your education. It just doesn't matter. And unfortunately, that's the world that we live in, where people look at you and the first thing that they see is the color of your skin. And all determination is made off of that. So just based on that alone, that's creating a divide. So look, just look at it like this. If you don't know the systems that are in place, how are you going to be able to maneuver? It's just that simple. If you don't have the basic, bare understanding of what systems of oppression, and that's what I call them, if you don't know what systems are in place and you don't understand them, how are you going to maneuver? You won't. Not knowing these terms, not knowing capitalism, not knowing what socialism is, not knowing what economic empowerment is, not knowing these things, you're not even truly understanding wealth, will continue to leave us in a point of disadvantage. And we don't need to continue to be at a point of disadvantage. You know, let's get the information, let's get the knowledge, let's get the power, and let's, you know, shift our economic status in this country, because that economic shift buys us power. And that's what we want. We want power. That is what we want, to be able to make decisions for our children and for our family that are going to embetter them and put them in a better position and not in a worse position. You know, this it is a convoluted system here, coming from so many different points. That's one reason the book Black Labor and White Wealth is so good, is because, like, every single issue that leads to economic disadvantage is discussed in that book. See the importance of understanding economics. I don't know everything about it. I'm still learning myself, but everything that I learned and the things that have made the most instrumental shift in my life, I choose to share on my YouTube videos, because I think that it could really help someone else. You know, I want to see everyone be empowered and see everyone rise above their current situation. You know, it should not be the norm for our community, 90% of our community, to live paycheck to paycheck. You know, that just should not be the norm. And we should have more power and collaboration in our community, things that make a meaningful difference. But I'm telling you, nothing is going to happen and nothing is going to change until we shift our mindset. That has to be mandatory. We've got to shift our mindset, and we've got to understand that things of the past, it no longer serves us. You know, these old way of thinking about money and things like that, it doesn't serve us. There's a whole new way of thinking about it, and it's new to us, but it's not new to this country. So, you know, we've got to get in the loop. So anyway, that is it for today. Hope you guys share this information with someone. If you would, leave a comment also if you want to have further discussion. I'm also going to put the name of the books and the resources in my comment section so that you guys can have that. The one, I'm going to list them again: Black Labor, White Wealth, The Problem with Socialism. And Dr. Anderson had in his book, The Destruction of Black Civilization. Great. I haven't read The Destruction of Black Civilization, but he made references to it, and he has inserts from the book in his book. So, great information. All right. Love you guys for watching. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good one.